So Donald Trump said he might get arrested Tuesday, right? And I did a video before on the problems with arresting the president, and some of the problems being like what do you do about security, right? The Secret Service. But there's a few things that, from what I was reading in the comment section of various news sites, that everybody was excited about this arrest. But I like to caution people: this is not a uh, decided verdict by a judge or a jury. He's just going to get arrested if he does get arrested, right? He could just face a fine. Nobody really knows what happened. If Donald Trump did have somebody call him from like New York, Manhattan's office, the DA, well, that somebody's going to get in big trouble for that, for leaking information, right? So he's going to be charged like anybody else would. He's going to go, they're going to process him. He's probably going to get some kind of bail. He's going to be out in a few hours, more than likely. He'll be back out on the streets. He's going to have his day of court like anybody else if he does get arrested for that. But that's not even the big case that you want him to get arrested for, which is the insurrection, right? Citing an insurrection. And the voting fraud in Georgia, which has taken way too long. As many people have pointed out, that there seems to be a two-tier system. You know, I heard Mike Pence talk about it, which Mike Pence has no credibility, but he did mention the two-tier justice system, where most Americans have one justice system and the filthy rich seem to have another, and it's ticking a lot of people off, right? And Mike Pence is not a man. Let's get that straight, because for one, when you got an entire crowd full of people wanting to kill you, they're making nooses outside talking about hanging you and killing your family, or even if it was just you and not your family, right? But then you're gonna stand up for the guy talking about killing you, and I still can't figure out why his wife or even his family would still have anything wanting to do with him. I mean, that's kind of stupid. You're literally sticking up for people that wanted you dead. So I mean, he's just as bad as a lot of other Republicans right now. And of course, you got a lot of the older Republicans are speaking against these newer ones for, being the games that they're playing, right? So I don't know what's going to happen with Donald Trump. I don't think anybody does. There has never really been a president like this, or an ex-president that faces any kind of arrest, right? I know a lot of people wanted George Bush arrested for war crimes. And it goes back and back. Even Bill Clinton, maybe when he had to go through his impeachment for that, offense with the girl or whatever in the Oval Office. I know people are talking about arresting him, and that was kind of minor compared to what Trump has done. So this is a unique situation throughout history, and I couldn't really find any protocols on it, but I'm sure there is. And if there is protocols, they're probably hundreds of years old on what happens if a president gets arrested, right? So let's say for a moment, real quick, Donald Trump actually goes to court and goes in front of a judge, and the judge makes a verdict for him and say he has to serve a prison sentence. Well, what happens to him in prison, right? Will Secret Service have to go in there with him? Will he still get protection from Secret Service, or is that removed? That's going to be one of the obstacles that they're going to have to talk about and go through. Because Secret Service job is supposed to protect presidents and ex-presidents, right? And vice presidents for that matter. All the way up to Jimmy Carter, who I think has just been hospitalized, one of America's oldest presidents. And he's been around a while, man. So, what do you do with a president that gets convicted? Who gets to handle it? Who is in charge of protection? Does it get protection? But the bigger issue is that nobody's talking about, and I still can't get ABC News, even though I wrote them on this. What happens if a president does get arrested? And what I mean is, he knows a lot of nation secrets. You saw the documents he had, right? All the top secret stuff he wasn't even supposed to have kept, supposed to have been turned in. How much would he leak? So how do you contain a president, ex-president, in jail or prison from leaking stuff? Do you restrict his phone calls? Do you restrict his email? Does he even get a chance to have a phone or an email? There's a lot of stuff that has to be carefully watched, we'll say that much. Especially with his ties to Putin. So and a lot of you are excited, but maybe we should hold off on the excitement just a little bit and let these dust settle and see what happens. You know what I mean? So let's think things through and be careful what we wish for, because I want him personally arrested. I personally think the Secret Service protection should be removed while he's in prison. I think he should get his own room. I think that all of his communications should be monitored, including mail, email, phone calls. Visitors should be restricted. And when he is, say his son comes to see him, or even his wife, I think that should be monitored, what they're talking about. I think that there should be no privacy between them, because of the risk of him leaking information that could be harmful against America. I mean, there's just a lot of things that need to be discussed. So hopefully, for once, our justice system, whatever branch it is, has their crap together, because they're going to need it.